Alright, hello everybody. I wanted to kind of do a little bit of a different video here today, a little more chill one. I kind of wanted to just sit here and talk to you for a second, because there is something going around in the Dead by Daylight community right now. And I am not usually the type of person to do this, but here I am sitting down and talking about it, and I want to weigh in my opinions here. I've been playing this game since 2017, and I love it to death. I love Dead by Daylight. I mean, who doesn't, right? Well, actually a lot of people. But as of the Walking Dead chapter, things have really flip-flopped, you know? I was having a lot of fun with the Five Nights at Freddy's chapter when that came in the game, but then suddenly this happened, and, well, in typical behavior fashion, the introduction of many new things has caused a slew of problems. If you're wondering why I'm playing a different game in the background and there's no Dead by Daylight footage, it's because I literally don't want to play the game. I don't want to. It is in a bad state right now, and I am fine with staying away from it. I have no drive to go back to it right now, but I'll get into that a little later. The game I'm currently playing right now is Carrion. I just picked it up on Steam, and not sponsored at all, just, you know, it's fun. So with that being said, grab some snacks, sit down with me here by the fire, and let's talk about what's going on with Dead by Daylight right now. If you have been on the YouTube space lately, or the Twitter space, I guess. I'm not really on Twitter, but I'm imagining it's doing the rounds on Twitter. There's a lot of complaints going around, and there's a lot of videos coming out on YouTube, especially I'm seeing from bigger content creators in the Dead by Daylight space, you know? I've seen videos like Mint Skulls and Scott Juns and The Kings, all big creators in the Dead by Daylight community that I mean, at least I think so, all weighing in on these new issues that have been arising since the Walking Dead chapter. Now, the way that I'm going to cover this stuff is in some different segments. I'm going to start off this video by kind of just introducing all the stuff that is wrong currently, at least that I've heard of. There's probably more. I'm going to then give my thoughts on the whole situation, and then I will briefly cover what is going to happen next with this channel, and just kind of going forward. So yeah. If you're curious about this, I was literally making a different video. I'm making a separate video. I literally stopped all progress just to record this and to talk about this because this is current. It's happening right now, and it's going to explain the next probably few uploads for me. So let's start with what's going on with Dead by Daylight. What is happening in the game currently? Why is everyone so riled up? Now, the Dead by Daylight community has never been a, soft-spoken one, so to say. But this has ruffled everybody's feathers, the Walking Dead chapter release. And why has it done that? Well, for a slew of reasons. Both balancing and bugginess, I think, are the big things here. To start in terms of balancing, 6 new survivor perks in the game, which are wonderful. We love new perks. And for the most part, they seem fine, I think, except for a few things here and there. I've heard, I don't know if you remember Conviction, certain pairings with this perk, I know Otts just did a video on this, can make it just unbelievably unfair to go against, as if you pair it with a boon, or you pair it with certain things, you can actually pick yourself up and gain endurance after like 4 seconds of being on the ground, which is pretty insane. Yes, you do go down a little later, but you waste a lot of the killer's time. Apparently there's also a bug. I've heard that Last Stand perk actually makes you vault windows faster, which isn't really explained in the description of the perk, and I don't think is a intended feature. In terms of balancing, the clown is very brain dead, I've heard so far. They've made some buffs to the clown's yellow bottles, and from everybody that I've heard talk about this, it's just been a bad decision, because the clown is now, you throw your speed bottles and you just gain a massive amount of speed, and that's it. And it's kind of like no counterplay. There's a lot of people disconnecting against the clown when they see him. It's just not fun. You know, and it's not really that strategic or skill-based, and, you know, I'm not really a clown player, but I feel for people whose mains are being affected by a crappy update. Now let's talk about some of the bugs that were introduced in this chapter that are still in the game. Let's start with the very obvious one, the elephant in the room. or should I say, the elephant in the offering screen. Ever since the Walking Dead update, this metal beam, this single metal beam has just been sitting here in the offering screen. It's very off-putting. A lot of people have named it Jim, I believe. The point is, there's obviously a clipping issue. Somewhere on the menu screen, there's a metal beam in the background, maybe, I think, and the offering screen where the offerings are shown this must have clipped into it somehow. But it doesn't matter, really. You know, nothing serious. It's not like it's game breaking. But what it does show is that the devs didn't even play a match before this patch came out. You know, it is a very, I mean, it's an obvious thing. People bring offerings every game. It is very rare that you go a match without seeing an offering. And so the fact that they didn't even notice this it's pretty crazy, dude. It is pretty crazy. I mean, you just have to play one game, essentially, of Dead by Daylight to notice this. So, you know, while it's not the worst thing in the world, it's setting a precedent here on out that they need to do these tests. They need to fix things. They need to notice things a little better, because there's a slew of bugs that are game-breaking, actually. We have the twins. They're still unplayable. They're literally a buggy mess, as I've heard. There's still a bug in the game where chases don't start sometimes. I've had this happen to me, and I've had survivors be able to abuse very long window loops and almost like basically infinites because I wasn't getting the entity blocker for chases or bloodlust, right? So there's a big issue with that. There's apparently a few perks that are bugging out. One of the big ones being Streetwise that has been making the rounds. Streetwise was an old perk from Nia that's been updated, and it is bugged to hell right now, to the point where you can actually abuse it. If you take Streetwise, you can cycle items, and it adds charges infinitely to an item. Basically, if you take Streetwise, you can literally get an infinite charge tool, an infinite charge item. You can infinitely charge your flashlight, you can infinitely charge your medkit, you can infinitely charge your toolbox, and this is a big issue, because there are people that are going to exploit it. It is an exploit. And Dead by Daylight has come out and said, this is not the biggest thing in the game right now. We are not fixing it or kill switching it. The least they could have done is kill switch this perk. The kill switch is literally a button they press that just disables the thing from people being, like, for people using it. People can't take it. People can't take the certain perk. People can't take the certain offering or the certain character if there is a game-breaking bug. But they've recently addressed this, and the funny part is they've said it is not worthy of the kill switch. It is not game-breaking, which is insane. Infinite charge items aren't game-breaking? That means that pretty much every survivor has the ability to have an infinite toolbox, which basically doubles the speed of gens, an infinite medkit so they can constantly heal at a super fast rate, or an infinite flashlight to just constantly blind you. It doesn't make sense to me, and I'm kind of just losing a little hope, you know, because they're kind of being a little weird with this one. I don't know why they're being so defensive. It's just a weird situation right now where there are so many game-breaking things in the game, and Dead by Daylight won't flip the kill switch on one of the most abusable and unbalanced things because they don't consider it the biggest problem right now. So that's the Streetwise situation. There are still tons of things going on right now. There are a slew of bugs still in the game with other perks, apparently DC penalties not applying randomly. The voice actors for the Walking Dead chapter, you know, they have their unique voice actors, of course, who are playing their characters, but the voice actors don't do the screams and the grunts. Those are a different actor. And now that might not be a whole issue with the actual actors themselves. They might have been contractually obligated not to do certain things. It couldn't be a thing. It might not be a thing with Dead by Daylight itself, but still it is off-putting to some. It's not really off-putting to me too much because I don't know the characters that much, but to people who are excited for this chapter, it might be a little weird. It's just weird decisions. And especially, I've heard a big thing where people cannot play as Michonne. because whenever she has either been infected by the plague or infected by Nemesis, any status effect where she is coughing and she is like sick, it is just really violent. It is a very gross sound, kind of, and some people can't play with it. They literally can't play because they just get too disgusted, which is crazy. Listen, I may not have covered everything, and I'm probably not going to cover everything, but there are a ton of things in Dead by Daylight right now that are just so disappointing, especially since this is a big chapter, you know, a big license. The Walking Dead is a big license, and it probably got a lot of people to start playing the game, and then this is what they're coming to. It feels wrong. It feels bad. It feels like they should have done some quality of life, and, you know, it sucks too, because this is right after the Five Nights at Freddy's chapter. There are still a ton of new players who came here for Five Nights at Freddy's, and now they are probably taken aback a little. And the craziest part is we are in a time where they have actually pushed back these chapter releases to do an Operation Health. And if you're not sure of what an Operation Health is, it is an entire fix to the game. It is essentially a patch that solely focuses on healing the game, hence the name Operation Health. It's solely meant to fix bugs, address issues that have been prominent in the game so far, and this just doesn't feel like they're doing that. You know, this is kind of concerning for their Operation Health, if this is kind of what's happening with the releases right now as they're working on things. And the last thing I kind of want to talk about here is the fog vials. I've had almost every single game I've played after the Walking Dead update has had a fog vial in it, and I love when they introduce new stuff to the game. It's probably great for survivors to have a new item, but I am not a fan of the fog vial. You know, it has infinite charges, so you can use it all game. I don't think that should be a thing, and the many times that I've played against it, it is pretty much a 50-50 that I lose the survivor while I'm on their trail. And sure, that might be a skill issue thing, but also, like, you're navigating through fog. I mean, hindering the character's senses is one thing. You know, flashlight blinding takes skill, it takes precision, and you get rewarded for it. The character can't see, yet they can still hear. So, you know, there's these things that are in the game that do hinder your senses, but with the fog vial, your sound gets muffled, your visuals, you can't see like a few feet in front of you, the scratch marks disappear, and they're infinite charges. Plus, there is an iridescent add-on for them that I'm pretty sure is bugged. It's part of the bugs that makes it super thick. So, like, you can't see anything, and it's almost like an instant chase winner for survivors. And this may come across as a killer main who is sitting here and bitching and moaning about, you know, all these survivor-sided bugs that are in the game, or the survivors just having this massive advantage. But seriously, if you try playing killer in this patch, it is kind of miserable. And this brings me to the portion of the video where I want to talk about what's going to be going on with my channel going forward, because I have built myself around Dead by Daylight. I've played Dead by Daylight. I do my mainline videos are Dead by Daylight, not only the 101 series, but gameplay. And honestly, it's sad to say, but I just have no inclination to go back to the game right now. I'm sorry to say, but you know, a part of the reason that I love making videos is because I love Dead by Daylight, and I really want to see this stuff get fixed, but I'm sorry, I cannot. I just cannot subject myself to miserable, unfair games for the sake of just recording a video for content. I'm sorry. I do want to expand my channel a little more. I'm playing a lot more Battlefront 2. There will still be Dead by Daylight, don't you worry, but I think I want to take a little bit of a step back while this is happening. Once they roll out bug fixes or kill switches, I might start to get back into it, but as for now, I have no inclination, so you're gonna see some new style of videos coming very shortly. I definitely want to experiment with new things and try out new things, and I'd be happy, super happy, if you decided to join me along this process. So I'm still here, I'm still doing my thing, and I just kind of wanted to weigh in on things. And the TLDR here is that Dead by Daylight is extremely buggy and unbalanced at the moment. They're not doing a lot to negate that stuff, so I'm not a big fan of what's going on right now. I'm not going to play Dead by Daylight for a little bit. That's pretty much it. That's all I kind of wanted to do. I just kind of wanted to weigh in with my thoughts and inform what's going on. So I'm going to continue working on my next video. Don't worry. Just wanted to kind of record this and get that out there. So thank you all for joining me, for listening. And I would love to hear your thoughts about what's going on in Dead by Daylight right now in the comments. If you want to leave a comment down below with your experiences, or just vent a little bit. I mean, we're all here. Obviously, please don't attack any of the community manager for saying this stuff, or you know, any part of the Dead by Daylight team. There's never a reason to attack anybody. But it is okay to criticize. So criticize all you like. Hey everybody, I was just finished recording and I was about to render this and upload this, but then Behavior came out with a statement saying that they're going to be better at kill switching things, and that they're kill switching the perks that I mentioned in the video, and that they're taking some initiative in fixing the new fog vial and some of the bugs that have come up. There's still not everything has been addressed, but this is very good, and yippee, good job Behavior. But you know, I still might take a small break from Dead by Daylight. It's just been a little overwhelming, so I don't know. I'll continue to let you know what happens, but for now, just know that these issues have been addressed. Not resolved yet, just addressed. Thank you all, and see you later.